Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. What is up, everybody? I am Where's Barry, and welcome back to Theory Chat. We did this show leading up to Resident Evil. We've done it a couple times after, and this is a special episode. We're not going to do it every week, but there's been a lot of Resident Evil news that has come out in the last few days. I've done 4 videos, I think 4, maybe more videos on Resident Evil. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, as well as the Resident Evil 2 remake, which may have a release date, may not. We're not 100% sure, but it's fun to talk about it. If you are watching the replay, thanks for checking out the show, but it's more fun live. So follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Where's Barry B, so that you know when we're broadcasting the next one, and they might just pop up whenever Resident Evil news pops up. What's up, Goldheart, Freakin' A, The Watcher, Nazi, Sean, Slim Gamer, Daniel, Cool Guy, Jojo, Super Gaming, Scorp Zero, Anthony, Lols, John Jerome. Looks like a whole bunch of big-time Resident Evil Crimson Army fans right in here right now. So these are what we're going to talk about today. Basically, all the videos that I've covered in the last week. where'sbarryb.com to find those on YouTube. And I guess we will start with Not a Hero, which of course has been delayed. And there is no date in sight for it. A lot of people are presuming it'll come out in the summer, but we are not sure. It could come out who knows when. Probably sometime before Christmas, but we're just hoping it comes out soon. But the reason that the developers decided to not release it kind of when they were planning to release it around this time, and they didn't want to do that because they didn't think the game was ready. They wanted to make sure it was good. And unlike, I don't think I've ever seen that before in a video game kind of thing, when something's delayed, where they had all the kind of bigwigs of Resident Evil 7 on video, kind of giving us their reasoning, kind of apologizing at the same time. And I think it seemed like the overwhelming response from the Resident Evil community was positive. It wasn't the main game that was delayed, so that wasn't a problem. The main game was fun. The DLC was kind of fun, and then, this is a free bonus, so they're looking forward to it, but they want it to be good. They don't want it to just be crap. So tell me in the chat right now if you guys thought that the delay is a good thing. Give me a thumbs up. If you thought it was a bad thing, give me a thumbs down, and we can kind of gauge the community and how they're feeling about the delay of this free DLC. The other thing that came out was a Famitsu article, and that article, of course, in Japanese, and we have to rely on some translations of different people, but a couple things were revealed about the gameplay and stuff like that, right? We got Goldheart giving it a thumbs up, C Squared thumbs up, The Watcher thumbs up, Scorp Zero thumbs up. Super Gaming just put someone on the list. John says he's disappointed, but he'd rather have a better DLC in the long run. SSUK says they were right to delay if it wasn't good enough. And I just feel like this DLC is kind of like gravy for the Resident Evil fans, because, I mean, we played Resident Evil 7 a lot. If you guys are in this chat, you've probably played it a lot. And, I mean, honestly, I could use a little bit of a break from it. And it has been it's been a couple months of a break. But I think when this comes out, I'll be reinvigorated with more of a break there. Rick says he played the DLC multiple times and it was bad, and he's glad that the team is improving it. So yeah, that's a good thing that they weren't on a deadline. If you guys watch the behind the scenes videos that Capcom posted about Resident Evil and how they made the game, it was either that or like a conference where they had a presentation with Weekend Sub Pete, where they talked about how one of the main things about Resident Evil 7 was meeting the deadline, no delays, and that was just every second, every day they probably just made sure that we can't delay the main game, we can't delay the main game. So delaying the DLC again, it's just kind of a bonus. And thanks to everybody for checking out the show tonight. So, the gas mask thingy. So one of the things in that Famitsu article or something was talking about how the gas mask is going to be a new kind of mechanic that they're going to use in the DLC. And again, I'm assuming since the article was released that they're not going to change that aspect of the game. But the article came out right as soon as it was delayed, so I'm sure there was some communication there, like, okay, we're delaying it, but here you can post, here's some information that you can post about it. And the gas mask thing is, I gotta get my face off of here because I'm blocking it. You can see, this is one of the screenshots from Famitsu. It's a Japanese gaming magazine. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. This was one of the screenshots that they gave us in that article the day after, the day of the delay. And you see in that bottom left corner, there is a little heads-up display there. And you can kind of see at the top and the bottom, that's like the gas mask. Like there's some kind of computerization in the view, and it says air clear in there, so it seems like there's going to be some kind of thing where you have to possibly find oxygen containers and put them in your backpack. That's kind of what the article said, but again, it was a rough translation. And what do you guys think of if that's something that they're going to do in this game, where, I mean, it's almost like Outlast where you have to find the battery? What if you have to find oxygen to keep going? What do you guys think about that mechanic if they are adding that to the game, to the DLC? You can also see there's another thing. It says 100. I'm not sure if that's the ammo. It might be the ammo. And if it is the ammo, 100 bullets would mean there might be some kind of a lot of action happening in this next game. And that would be a little bit different from the original Resident Evil 7, and I'm not sure if they're trying to generate some more interest from people who haven't bought the game by adding the Resident Evil 6 style action to it. More powerful weapons, more bullets, or if they're just gonna have a couple new weapons and keep it the same as Resident Evil 7 was. John says, how do you think the gas mask will limit you? Why wouldn't you keep it on the whole time? Yeah, maybe you do have it on the whole time. But that would also be interesting if maybe it slowed you down so you walked slower. Something like that could be a possibility. C Squared says mold can infect the air, so he assumes it will tell you what areas are safe and what are hazardous. Yeah, that's definitely one form of, like, I don't know, I don't know if there might be a new molded character that kind of has spores coming out, and that's kind of like poisonous air, poisonous gas almost. So it definitely could be mold related, and mold is something you can breathe in, and it can cause some serious health problems, especially if it's kind of black mold. Or I actually looked up black mold, and it wasn't kind of what you think it is, but it's bad to have that kind of stuff in your system. C Squared also thinks the 100 is the health, and with the green bar like the Resident Evil 4 HUD. Yeah, that's another good point there. 100, if that said like 101, then maybe it would be bullets, but yeah, 100 could be health. But again, that would make it completely different from Resident Evil 7, where you just had to kind of a watch. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be completely different because it would maybe go the same way, but you might be able to take more damage because this Chris Redfield character has tons of equipment on, unlike Ethan. And they were saying how the Not a Hero is going to be different from Resident Evil 7 because now you're not Ethan, just a regular guy with a polo shirt. You are Chris Redfield. He's got some bulletproof vest. He's got tactical, equipment. He's got grenades now. That was another thing that was mentioned in the article, that hand grenades could be a thing. I don't have a zoom in on it, but I'm sure you guys have zoomed in at the end of Resident Evil 7. You can see like a different color test tube kind of things on his body. I wasn't sure if those were chemicals or chem fluids or some kind of grenade type thing. Waterball says, I hope they add an upgrade feature where you upgrade through levels. So if you only have a level 1 mask, you can't go to a certain area unless you upgrade the mask. That would be interesting. Yeah, so in Resident Evil 7, you could upgrade your weapons with 2 different upgrade things that you find. But, yeah, that would be interesting as well. Let me check out some more of this chat. Again, thanks everybody. What's up, Demons, Dorian, all the people who are joining in. Host said maybe you'll find filters like in Metro. I'm not familiar with that game, but I understand the concept. Tails says it looks dope. Somebody is waiting for the stream to start, which probably means they are not on the right page or whatever. And yeah, SSUK mentions they're all herb colors. I believe it was red, yellow, and blue. Were those the 3 colors in there? I think it was. Watcher says, yeah, it's herbs for sure. Who says herb and who says herb? That's a question for another day, not for this theory chat. We've also got this insane looking shotgun. It's got so many shells in it. One of the reasons I hate the shotguns in Resident Evil 7 is because one of them holds 2 and the other holds 4 shells. Is that right? And the more powerful gun holds 2 shells, which is why I never get it. I always upgrade the pistol or use that, and I never use that 2-bullet shotgun in Resident Evil 7. It's so slow to reload in that game. But this one here is a little bit more firepower, as you can see. And yeah, there's a Japanese company called Tokyo. I think it's Maru. I just know the Kobayashi Maru or whatever from Star Trek or something. Anyway, so that company makes replica airsoft guns that you can buy. And they are selling this gun. And the nickname of this gun is Thor's Hammer. And it's Albert Wesker Model 02. So it's another Wesker gun in the game. You guys remember the end of Resident Evil 7 where you get the Wesker pistol, and then you could use that in the game when you restart it. And one of the big points that Super Gaming and a bunch of people left in the comments was, what if if there's new weapons in the Not a Hero DLC, will we be able to use them if we start a new game in Resident Evil 7? So imagine this shotgun transferring into your Resident Evil 7 game, and then taking out the mold it with the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 whatever 10 shell shotgun there. And yeah, if you look at the end of it too, it's like, I mean, it is a heavy duty shotgun here. And Chris is not messing around. Oh, you can see the little, oh, I'm in the way again. 8. Look, you can see at the bottom of him right here, you can see the different colors. There's like a bluish or grayish, a yellow, a red, and I assume a green. So maybe blue, yellow, red, green. You also have a smoke grenade right there. Or smoke, what does that say? Smoke, and then it says red. Red smoke? Is that a thing from Umbrella Corps or something? Maybe that's to kind of either to see a certain kind of enemy or something like that. Jack Baker says it looks like a laser gun from Advanced Warfare Call of Duty. I think I just lost 20 followers for mentioning Call of Duty. Irisan says, loved the 2-bit shotgun. 1-hit kill on Mold It. Just got to get the stabilizers. Goldheart says N18 smoke grenade. Dorian says looks like a flashbang. Super Gaming says there was a rainbow smoke. Super Gaming is the one guy who bought Umbrella Corps, so he would know about that. I actually bought Umbrella Corps. I played it on the channel. I played it for like 5 straight hours, and unfortunately this show's airing right now on May 3rd, and Umbrella Corps was $10 until May 2nd, so you missed your opportunity to get a game that nobody plays. Oh man. Let's see here. So the other thing with these replica handguns is they come in a really cool case. Remember the case they threw down, like the briefcase where the Redfield threw it down for Ethan and he grabbed the gun? That briefcase is actually what the gun replica comes in. And they also added some kind of a pamphlet or a little booklet talking about the gun, and more importantly, talking about Umbrella and the new Umbrella Corporation. And this is, again, translation. A lot of translations were involved here, and it's a little bit kind of hard to understand. So I guess I'll just say what I read about is that the United States government let Umbrella kind of restart from the beginning in order to do good, which is just so bizarre. That would be like, I don't know, one of those financial companies that, like Enron or something, coming back. Like, the government would never bring that back. They would definitely change the brand name. You don't want to bring back an evil brand name and then use that again as good. It's just, I guess you just have to do it as the game creator because you always want Umbrella to be around. But a lot of people are saying that this new Umbrella that's working possibly with the BSAA, with Redfield involved, is just like a cover, or maybe not even a cover, maybe a new thing, but there's also like the Umbrella Corps mercenaries, which are using the red logo possibly, so that might be how there might be 2 umbrellas now, a good and a bad. And anyways, this is called the Blue Umbrella because the logo changed to blue and it was updated for like 2000. And yeah, this is, there's still, you wouldn't believe how many comments I've got on the last couple videos about the Umbrella Corporation stuff, about people still do not believe that this is Chris Redfield. They are convinced that Capcom is just doing this huge, I mean, every document, every interview, they've confirmed it 100 times that they've told us why, because of the new technology and the new model, and they want to update the character. They've given us 100 reasons why they've changed him. And people are still all in the comments talking about how it's not the real Chris Redfield. Is anybody in the chat still in that mindset where they do not believe it's Chris Redfield? I mean, I'm I would say I'm 99% sure it's Chris Redfield at this point, and I was one of the big skeptical people who was looking for a big twist. So let me know in the chat if you definitely believe that this is the real Chris Redfield. And Super Gaming says, don't really care if it's Chris or not anymore. That's another thing. There's a lot of fatigue with that. I've done like 10 videos about Chris Redfield. It's just too much Chris Redfield. That name is like ringing in my ears now. It's like, let's just play the game and never talk about Chris again. Another interesting thing about Umbrella becoming a good guy and possibly working with the BSAA, and that's kind of possibly where Redfield gets involved with Umbrella. People said Redfield would never work for Umbrella, even if they were good. Well, his main goal is probably to kind of save the world. So I think the government could trick him. He's probably friends with the new president. And the president probably said, hey, why don't you do this? Because he's probably actually a known hero. I know they call it not a hero, but I think that's just because Chris doesn't think he's a hero, but he really is a hero, obviously. And they might have put him out there as kind of the face of this new Umbrella, or the kind of person who's working with them. And I did a video a while ago about the guy from Revelations. What was his name? O'Brien. I really think that if there was a new Umbrella and they were working with BSAA, that he could possibly be involved. And I know they don't usually cross over like characters like that back into the main game, but I'm still thinking that. The Watcher says, I like that Chris isn't like Hulk anymore. Yeah, it was almost like a comic book. It was turning into a comic book instead of a more realistic game, and that was kind of one of the reasons why they had to change it. So the other character, everyone thought that he might be Hunk, at the end of the game, because everybody with a gas mask is automatically Hunk. You can't be, and some people are still telling me that the original Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 1 was actually Hunk and not Chris Redfield. And that blows my mind as well. But what if Hunk actually shows up in Not a Hero? We've got, it's very complicated right now. We know there's this new Umbrella, and they were in Resident Evil 7. We think there's this company called Tentsu that was responsible for the Evelyn thing. And then there's also a possibility that the Umbrella Corps or Red Umbrella is involved. And again, people are Rely on Horror, the blog, said that Red Umbrella was definitely bad guys. And again, they would know about Umbrella Corps, the game, more than I would. I played it like once. But I was thinking Umbrella Corps was part of Umbrella Corporation as kind of their mercenaries with Chris in the lead, but that might not be true anymore. It might be Umbrella Corporation with BSAA versus Tentsu with Umbrella Corps, which would be interesting. But what if Hunk came back at some point in the DLC? Everybody's dying to see him again. And Umbrella Corps, actually, the game had a character called, I will never remember, it's like 3A07 or something, who was basically Hunk, but like a new Hunk. And yeah, so maybe he'll show up in the DLC. And then, the main image I always use is Chris versus Lucas. We still don't really know if Lucas is involved. We're pretty sure he is because he ran away from the mines and Chris went in after him. But it's interesting the way everything is focused now on Umbrella and Chris, and we're kind of forgetting about Lucas, who everyone loved, and he is coming back. Demon says, I hope Mr. Death, a.k.a. Grim Reaper, a.k.a. Hunk, makes an appearance. Michigan Football says, when will we see Ada again? The Watcher says, Hunk could actually be the captain. Waterball says, I hope you have to fight Lucas because you just want to punch him in the face. I hope it doesn't look like, it looks like this is more action than puzzle, this new DLC, but I would love to see some more Lucas puzzles. Oh, VHS tapes. I don't think they're going to be in the Not a Hero. Again, it's all based on this screenshot here, but that just screams action to me and not puzzles and not VHS. So let me scroll through the chat here. Fisher said, "Who do you think will be fighting?" Yep, I think it's gonna be Lucas. I don't think Zoe's alive, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was. It hasn't been 100% proven that she died. Is all I can say about that, I guess. SSUK says the title suggests he's not a good guy. Again, my thought is he just thinks he's not a hero, and that's why he says that. You know, at the end when Ethan says, "What took you guys so long?" I feel like they're using a lot of cliches in this, and I'm not a hero, man. Like that's something an action hero would say. "I'm not a hero, I'm just doing my job." And that sounds like something Chris might say. We got a lot of hashtags, not my hunk, not my Redfield. I don't which Chris, what? I don't know. Fisher says, "Will Not a Hero come out this year?" I'm assuming it will. We also have, most of you also bought the deluxe edition or bought the DLC as a package. I believe they call that a season pass. And there's one more thing coming out in the season pass. We don't know what it is. They're currently calling it an additional story chapter. And they are working on it now, according to the developers. They mentioned that in the video where they told us Not a Hero was delayed. They said, "Don't worry, we're not only working on Not a Hero to make it better, we're also working on the final paid DLC." And if you bought it individually, you paid $25, and if you bought the season pass, you paid $30, and you've only gotten 2. So there's definitely one more. A lot of people, for some reason, forgot, or they don't remember, or forgot and don't remember is the same thing. Or they just put it out of their mind. But there is going to be a third, and they're calling it additional story chapter. A lot of people assumed it would be banned footage volume 3, and I don't see. I mean, they could do that again. I'd love to see. What do you guys think the length is going to be? And you can talk about either Not a Hero or the 4th DLC. How long do you want it to be? How long do you think it will be? And I always bring up my favorite Resident Evil bonus game ever was in Resident Evil 4, the Ada Wong things. I think there were 2 different ones. I can't distinguish which was which, but they were both substantial. They were longer than you would think a little bonus thing would be, especially after playing banned footage and Daughters and how short that is. And what was the other one? The one where you're in the bed, like Misery. That one, it's just short. And then the others were like arcade games. So I'm hoping it's more of a story. Prodigal Son says, "I hope at least 2 hours for Not a Hero." Michigan Football says 1 to 2 hours. What's up, Zassine? Everybody give Goldheart a shout out for being the moderator. Everybody give Zassine a shout out for doing the Where's Barry theme song. And we've got a bunch of people in the chat right now. Super Gaming Demon, who had donated to the channel as well. So big shout out to all of those people. And thanks to the 40 people that are watching right now. Thanks for checking out Theory Chat. And if you guys really like this episode and you really like talking Resident Evil, tweet me, put it in the comments, and I'll do more of these. But I just wanted to wait until there was a lot of news to talk about. The other thing, like along with Hunk, would be will another classic character show up in Not a Hero or at the end of it? And I think that's a strong possibility. I feel like they're trying to get these Resident Evil 6 people involved. They're trying to bump up the numbers of Resident Evil copies sold. One of the news items was that their goal was to sell 4 million copies, and they only sold 3.5 million copies, so they're like short on that. I don't know how accurate that is, or I'm assuming they set high goals for themselves, so not reaching it wasn't like the end of the world because they did sell a lot of them. But I think they're going to do a push with this DLC. Oh, Chris Redfield, someone's going to hear about Resident Evil 7, they'll say, "Oh, who's in Resident Evil 7? Is it Leon? Is it Ada?" Like a casual gamer, and someone will say, "No, it's this new character named Ethan." "Oh, is Wesker in it?" "No, it's like some little girl enemy and like a weird family," and they'll be like, yeah, I don't know about that." But then when you say, "Oh, who's in this not hero?" "Chris Redfield." "What? Chris Redfield?" And then people are gonna possibly get involved again. And as I said, if it's more action oriented, that might draw in some new fans to buy the game. And then by Christmas, I would guess that they might have the definitive, edition, $60, comes with all the DLC, including the free one, and that's kind of their final push for Christmas. And I don't know, I'm not completely familiar with the cycle of video games and how soon they do the complete editions and stuff. I usually buy games when they are complete editions and not when they come out right away. And I actually wait till the complete edition is down to $20 because that's the best deal. So if you didn't buy Resident Evil 7, well, you're watching this, so it's already given away. But if your friend hasn't played it, I would suggest that they would just wait till it's $20 with all the DLC. Don't look at any videos on my channel, and they will enjoy it in a year when it's $20. Let's see here. Super Gaming says maybe not banned footage because Clancy's actor died. Yeah, I don't know about that. Someone also mentioned them not bringing back Chris Redfield's voice actor. Yeah, I don't think they're bringing him back. I think he's done. I obviously don't know anything about it. I just know he's not in. I don't think he's in Vendetta, and he's not in this. So I think he's gone. I don't really know why everyone gets super excited about the voice actors, but I'm sort of new to being really involved in a video game. I always play games, but this is the game where I'd found out everything. And the Knights, I was talking about. It's going to be $60 to start, but it'll eventually go down to $20. And I know this because I bought Fallout when it was 15, Dishonored when it was 15. All these games, I buy them when they're 15 or $20. Brian says, "What if Chris is a clone?" I think we're over the clone part after all the Capcom talk about it. Goldheart's bringing up E3, which kind of leads us into the next thing, maybe, sort of. And that is the Resident Evil 2 Remake. And that we have no information on. Rick, who's in the chat, mentioned that they were working on it a long time ago, actually. Back, I don't know, June, July, they were possibly working on it. And somebody, I don't know if it was in their financial report or something, but Capcom is supposed to be releasing a major title in March or May of 2018, which is so far away. My God, it's so far away. Distant Memory says, "We do it!" And yeah, Rick says Remake's in active development, so don't worry. A lot of people are like, "Oh, is it canceled?" The same thing with Not a Hero. They were like, "Is it canceled?" Like, no, they're just not done yet. But E3 is coming up in, when is E3? One of you guys will know the answer to that. But E3 is coming up here in June or July, probably June, right? I actually started this channel at the day after E3 last year, so it'll be the year anniversary. And we're hoping that maybe they're gonna give the Resident Evil 2 remake some kind of push at E3. Not sure. A lot of times these games, when they tease their game, if it's a long way out, they'll do, it'll be a black screen and it'll be like 20 years ago, 19 years ago, the world changed forever or something, and then the Resident Evil logo, this thing, will just kind of fade to the screen into the brightness, and then it'll go black and say March 2018, something like that. But I'd really like to see some kind of, obviously, actual gameplay, even if it's 1 second of gameplay, so we can figure out what it's going to look like. It was teased in here that it might be third person, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of fixed camera. What do you guys, what kind of view would you guys prefer? Fixed camera, first person, or third person, behind the shoulder, Revelation style? And Rick says, don't hold your breath for E3. Oh, that's okay. And I believe that there was also some kind of mention of Resident Evil 8. They're starting to at least talk about it or something, so that's interesting. Distant Memories wants a screenshot, a logo, a single bullet casing, something. Mustang says fine with over the shoulder or first person. I think you might be in the minority with the first person, but I'd really want a three-legged dog. I really liked Resident Evil 7 in first person. Oh, Zacine, what's up, Zacine? Thank you for the donation. Everybody give a big shout out to Zacine. Again, if you watch any of the live streams, at the end of every episode, a lot of people, they don't click the X until we hear the Where's Barry theme song, rap song thingy, and we play that at the end of every live stream, and we'll play it at the end of this live stream as well. Freakin' A says first person. Dorian's hoping for both perspectives. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that, and I don't know how easy it is to develop a game and have different camera angles, or different, yeah. I know, like Fallout, you can do third person, first person. But see, this is all eliminating my fixed camera angles. Arizan says, fixed camera so we can still enjoy the character models for Claire and Leon. Ooh, so about the character models for Claire and Leon, how much would you flip out if they also updated those new characters? Because I believe they're using the same technology, and they're going to use live models and scan them in. How would you feel if Claire, Leon, Sherry all got new models? Kendo, my boy.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah, if they take that line. So they took out Jill Sandwich line from the Resident Evil 1 remake. They got rid of the Jill Sandwich line. But if they get rid of who are you, what are you doing here, I will riot. SSUK says VR. I really don't think so, but whatever. Mustang says that over the shoulder and first person is more immersive. Fixed camera is kind of like watching someone from a distance. Yeah, I just really like the Resident Evil 1 remake. I think it's really good. It's got nostalgia because it's kind of the same way the first game came out, and then it's also got updated graphics, which are cool, updated cutscenes and stuff. I just really like that a lot. And Rick says that people will be happy with the new characters for Resident Evil 2 Remake because they did a better job casting. Yeah, so all the models not all of them, a lot of the models in the Resident Evil 7 game were from the same Japanese modeling company. And I actually went on to I went to the modeling website, and it's like what do they call it? Like a Facebook kind of thing, like a casting couch book, where you can look at all the models and you can pick like your race and hair color and stuff like that. I looked through the whole catalog of models to see if maybe anyone looked like Leon or if anyone looked like Claire, and basically they all look. It's hard to tell people from these characters. They all kind of look similar, and then the computer. They're going to add on the computer to the details of the character. Although the Chris Redfield Resident Evil 7 looked very similar to the model, whereas the other character models, they seem like they added some more stuff to them. Distant Memory says, I still play the remake. What a masterpiece. Let's see here. Cool Guy says, anyone want an RE3 remake more than RE2? RE2 was already great. My issue with Resident Evil 2 and 3 right now are the only ways you can play it on PlayStation 3 or, you know, the port on GameCube, and the graphics, they don't translate to these big TVs we have now. And I still will, when the remake for Resident Evil 2 comes out, I'll still go back and play the PlayStation version because I really like doing that for Director's Cut as well. And I only say Director's Cut because that's like the only one on PS3 or whatever. And I have all these games on other systems, and it's just a pain in the neck to set them up. So I always play it off my PS3. But yeah, I'd like them to redo 2 and 3 because Code Veronica on PS3, it looks pretty good already. And I heard that there was some rumor that might be on PS4, but I think it would just be another ported up game like Revelations, which is coming out sometime this year on PS4. Somebody had a good question, and I missed it. Oh, the Outbreak. Yeah. Real Boy says, what do you think about an Outbreak remake? If they remade the game, I'd be fine with it, but if they just ported it up, the game is just, it's so slow. The loading it's just not a great game, in my opinion. Now, if they updated it and made it, you know, so it works in today's world, then okay, I'd be fine with that. That maybe the storyline is interesting, the different characters, that kind of stuff. But I just remember the loading over and over, waiting for the next load, and then it just, I never got into it. I never even played Outbreak 2. I played Outbreak 1 when it came out. I had my Ethernet cord. I had to buy like a long one. It was like running through the whole house or the dorm room or whatever I was, into like the living room where the internet was. And it was definitely something I played a lot of, but I just got addicted because it was one of the first online games. I guess that's kind of why I got addicted to the original Outbreak. But when I watch Sniper Cat 6 play it, she plays it all the time. I just think I'd rather be watching this than playing it. Zassine says, any news on Revelations 3? I haven't heard anything about that. The other thing people are talking about is Dino Crisis. I haven't really heard anything about that. It seems like some of these rumors are just started by people who want to see the game, like a blogger or something will want to see it, and then it'll kind of get a buzz in the community. But I don't know. Dino Crisis, I wished it was more like Resident Evil, but it's still fun. I played it, I don't know, within the last year or so. Mustang said no game had worse loading than Turok 2002. I don't. That's a long time. That's a long time ago. John says, what happened to Lucas in Resident Evil 7? He escaped into the mines, and we believe in Not a Hero, Chris Redfield's going to go in after him. Real Boy says, do you have a Twitch? So let me just give you a quick update on the channel, and then we'll just keep doing some question and answer type stuff. Yeah, I'm still going to do these Resident Evil videos, and I'm not going to try to switch games or go too many weeks without a video on Resident Evil, as long as there's news and stuff. But I am going to be playing. So Play at Primetime was awesome. We did The Evil Within last, and that's like that'll be a weeknight show for an hour, only an hour. Sometimes we go over, so that you can watch the replay if you miss it, and it's not a long thing. And that'll be coming back, and then I'll be playing on twitch.tv/where'sbarry computer games. So on the Steam store, I've been playing those computer games. It's called All Steamed Up, and then we'll just play different Steam games, mostly crappy ones. Not like crappy bad, but just like not taking advantage of my $2,500 gaming computer, but games that you could basically play on a computer from 20 years ago. That's how low the graphics are. So twitch.tv/where'sbarry. for that. And as usual, I will be playing games on the regular channel on YouTube as well. And the next game I'm going to get that's new is Prey. Brian says no more Outlast. Definitely. I'm going to keep doing the movie remake, the movie episodes, but I'm not really going to play that anymore. I'm over Outlast. It was fun, but I don't see any reason to continue, playing it. It's really kind of it's like a good move, like a good extended mini series, I guess, like maybe like 4 movies combined into one. But then after you've watched it all, I don't know, I don't really see much replayability. All right, so that's the channel stuff, and we will get back into Resident Evil here for the final 10 minutes of the show. And yeah, any topics you want to talk about that we already covered, or other topics Resident Evil related. What else happened with Umbrella? Who's Joey? Am I missing something? John says Jack Baker was his favorite enemy. Yeah, some of these characters, like Jack and Lucas, I feel like they're almost, that whole family, like the Bakers, I feel like that's a spin-off game in itself. And not a spin-off game where it's like another cool Resident Evil game, but like some stupid spin-off that they do for other series, like where the Baker, it wouldn't be this, but you know how like, it'll be like the Bakers are riding go-karts. It'll be like Resident Evil Kart. Or some puzzle game or something, like where they use the family characters and they give them big heads and they make them look goofy. Leon says, any more collabs in the future? Yeah, definitely. Definitely going to do that again. I've already done it with Joe After Work, John Ford, and Jill Sandwich, 988. I think it's 988. But yeah, I'll definitely get back into that. I want to make it better than it was. So I'm working on some equipment stuff and figuring out how to get both of us on screen at the same time, so it's not just like a still image of them while we're chatting. But yeah, that's definitely up there, and I will let you know about that. I'm still trying to figure out where the channel's going, because obviously I was doing a Resident Evil 7 video like every day, or like at least one every 2 days, and now there's not a lot of news. And I really, the reason the channel grew so much is because I was very passionate about Resident Evil 7. So I mean, I played Outlast, it was fun. I think that there's some cool stuff there, but there's no like super passion there, so that I'm not gonna just do videos to do videos on that. And the other new game that's coming out that we might see stuff at E3 is Death Stranding. But that, right now, there's not a lot of buzz for it, so I might get back into that as well. People are asking if I got a haircut. I'm sorry, it's just kind of funny to me. How do I switch this? I'm just going to put up this Evil Within thing real quick so I can go to my computer and do something. Never mind. I won't do that. I was going to show a picture of the last theory chat. My hair was like down to here. It was ridiculous. Of course I got a haircut. Dorian says I should have rode the Prey hype train. Well, I will be playing Prey on Friday night, so I played the demo. I played it for 4 hours. They call it the first 1 hour demo, but I'm definitely going to do that game. That's a little more complicated of a game because there's so much to do. I mean, even there's missions, but it seems sort of open worldish. I mean, it's hard to say that when you're on a spaceship, that it's an open world. But there were a lot of different missions and side quests and stuff to do. So that's a little complicated. But the next Play at Primetime, that's my favorite part about the channel live streaming, is the Play at Primetime, because I get to play these cool games I'd never even looked up. Like Evil Within, I never saw a clip of that before I played it. And I get to do it in small chunks, an hour 3 times a week. And it's like Evil Within took a month and a half, but it was so fun because at the end of the hour you want to keep playing, and in real life you normally just keep playing the video game. So like I'll play Zelda, whoops, I played for 15 hours. But when I cut it off after an hour, or sometimes we go to overtime, it makes you want to play it more, and I think that's kind of cool. But if you ever have suggestions for games and stuff, it's Where's Barry B on Twitter is the best way to reach me. I see some people are tweeting right now. Fallen Stars 12 says, love the live video. Yeah. Schwifty says, Resident Evil 7 is 10 times more dense than Outlast. In England, they use the word dense in a different way. There's a lot more to talk about and a deeper story. The Outlast story it's not into the religious cult kind of stuff is just not interesting to me. Also not really that interested in BOWs, to be honest. But I just love the puzzles and I just love Resident Evil. And it's not about the Umbrella story. That's kind of the secondary, tertiary thing for me. And that's why a lot of you guys have helped this channel grow as well, by helping me out with some of the history of Umbrella and stuff like that I just never... I played Resident Evil 2 500 times. I played it like 4 days straight once, and I still don't know like the story of it. So Brian says, is Lucas still evil after Ethan defeated Evelyn? I believe he was evil in the first place before Evelyn even got there. So yes, I believe he's still evil. And one of the things everybody talks about, the character, the note talking about Oliver, and I'm pretty sure Oliver is just a bully that beat up Lucas, and he made up a fake story in his diary where he imagined killing him, and that's kind of where you can see how crazy he is, and that's why they took him to a psychiatrist, or the doctor, not a psychiatrist, but to get a CAT scan, because the mom probably found his journal entry talking about killing Oliver. And that's what I think. People think Oliver was real. I do not. I think he was real, but he wasn't in the ad. He didn't actually kill him. That was just like a kid writing a story about the bullies and wishing that happened on him. Jennifer said, "Oh, I'm gonna cut off. Yeah, we'll just finish this up with Resident Evil." I should have done an Outlast video too. Under the Skin for PS2 has a Resident Evil Raccoon City level. I don't know anything about that. Craziest Dave says Resident Evil 7 should be called Resident Evil 1, the new chapter. They should call it Resident Evil 7 Gremlins 2, the new batch, back in the habit. So the other little part that was involved in, and you can see how the magic is done with the PowerPoint. The other thing of this Blue Umbrella is the note mentioned how Blue Umbrella is creating anti-BOW weapons, and the way that they're creating these anti-BOW weapons is using research from Albert Wesker. And that might be the guns, the Wesker gun models. Those might be anti-BOW weapons. And that's why Chris Redfield is using a Wesker gun, because it's specifically designed to take out BOWs. I don't know how that would work. You would think the bullets would be laced with something. I don't know how the gun, maybe it's just a futuristic gun or something. But that might be the reason why Chris is using a Wesker gun, because it's an anti-BOW device. And the other part of the story is that Evelyn, who is the BOW, the way that they came up with her was also based on old Wesker research. When he started the company, when he started the I can't even remember anymore. HTC, that's a phone. The Hive host, I can't remember. The H something. He started that company, and that's how kind of Tentsu used that research to create the Evelyn. So you've got Wesker's research behind Blue Umbrella, the good guys, possibly, and Tentsu, the bad guys. So everything's coming up Wesker. He's dead, but he's everywhere. Someone who's mentioned he might come back. I think they'll bring him back at some point, but I'm not sure that he'll come back, because now I think Resident Evil 8, the working title I'm giving it is Resident Evil 8 Wesker's Legacy, because I think it's going to be good guys using Wesker stuff versus bad guys, and maybe they'll have flashbacks to Wesker in the early years or something. That's kind of what I just, that's just, there's no, real information there. That's just what I imagined. But if you guys remember, we did a theory chat a long time ago, and I wrote down a speech where it was Oswald Spencer's son, and he was with like the president and Chris Redfield, and they were talking about a new Umbrella and how it's going to be good now, and they're going to fix all the wrongs that his grandfather put on the world, and we're going to work together. And it seems like something like that is actually happening here. So that's awesome. And the reason that we came up with that speech that I came up with was because of commenters on the channel helping me kind of figure out, because the question was, is Redfield bad or is Umbrella good? And Umbrella good seemed to be more likely, unless there was some wacky mind control thing, which is annoying, or cloning. So I'm glad that Umbrella turned out to be good and not Redfield bad. Allegedly, or whatever. What's up, Caliban? Michigan Football says, I want to see Chris Redfield team up with Claire or Leon in future games. And HCF, yeah, Hive host capture. What's up, Why'd He Bite Me? Everybody check out Why'd He Bite Me's channel. Another cool Resident Evil channel on the old internet, on the YouTube. You can just click on the icon there. So that was a fun episode of Theory Chat. Thanks to everybody who watched. I know we had over 40 people at one time. We covered a lot. We kind of went in a bunch of different places at the end, but if you guys want to catch the replay, that'll be up tomorrow at some point, and that will have the first chunk was really kind of on focus. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are into it, when it comes up tomorrow, click the thumbs up, although you already clicked the thumbs up. Thanks to everybody who clicked the thumbs up. But leave a comment on the video tomorrow when it pops up if you want to see more Theory Chat, and we'll see what the kind of reply is, and we'll see if we want to do this again soon. So thanks to everyone. Thanks to Goldheart for moderating. Thanks to Zassine who donated tonight. Thanks to all the people who donated this month, last month, all year. It's been awesome. It's helped us to get several games, including Prey, which is coming up on Friday night. Remember twitch.tv/Where's Barry if you want to watch me play weird horror computer games, Steam games. That's kind of my next fun thing to do on the side. And as always, just check out Where's Barry TV. That takes you to the live stream page that you're watching right now. And I usually, within 12 hours, put up what the next stream is. It's usually not that on point with the schedule. I have a real job, and I have, a lot of, this is kind of like a hobby and a fun thing. And the fun part is talking to the chat, talking to the community, tweeting with you guys, talking in the Discord, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So whenever I get a free night like tonight, I like to do something, but I can't really do a predetermined schedule like everything else, except Sunday nights, usually wide open. So it's usually a couple nights a week when I'll be live streaming. And don't think I'm going to switch over to be a live streamer only. That's not going to happen. I'm I know my strength is my short videos, so those will. And Scorp says pixel horror. No, I believe we're done that. I didn't beat it, but I'm not gonna be playing. Oh yes, Super Gaming brings up every Sunday night until The Walking Dead comes back on TV. I will be playing The Walking Dead Telltale games on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. And I'll be doing like one episode every Sunday until we run out of episodes or until the show comes back on TV. So if you didn't get your Walking Dead fix and you haven't played the game, and you definitely check those out and come there to chat. There's a lot more chatting in that one, a lot of talking about it. So everybody stay tuned, follow on social media. I've already talked about all this. Check out all the new shows coming up, whatever. Ask me questions through Twitter and stuff. And don't forget to stick around for the final 3 minutes to watch the Where's Barry theme song if you haven't heard it. And if you have heard it, you probably want to hear it again. I will talk to you guys later. Catch you later, evil dudes. Thanks for watching, and bye, Amanda.
Go tell that Rudy. Go tell that Rudy. Go tell that Rudy that our old gray goose is dead.
Welcome to the family, son. Come join the Crimson Army, where the residents are evil now. We won't harm you. You'll get videos of theories and let's plays. Where's Barry? He have something to say. Here's Barry, he'll play all day. He's never really crunched for time. A Jill sandwich comes to mind, but that's just one of those lines you'll find in the comments. A heart of gold, keep it account. Number of deaths, a high amount. Will Barry live? Come find out. On the next stream, we'll figure it out. It's the Zoms together, whether Jack is a dope boy or he wants to play. The Zoms are here to stay, even if number 7 gets delayed. The data mine, no spoilers will make us change. Cause in our mind, Where's Barry's king. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by Amanda, you're out of time. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And by Amanda, you're out of time. Like, oh my god. By Amanda, you're out of time.